Alright guys, Simon here. We're doing a Minecraft design school and we are looking at the Mayan parkour map by Progsys. And this is definitely going to be the last video. So, we got to the pyramid. There's nothing in the pyramid yet, and we couldn't find a quiz that Progsys tells me about. So I asked him about it. Apparently they're in the corners of this park. You know, this kind of square. They're... Believe it or not, well, they're back here, there's one back here and one in the other corner. So I completely missed it. I think part of the problem here is that, I don't know the problem. Part of the difficulty here is that they're in the corner areas of a large square. Now, most of this map, at least for the first half to 2/3 of it, it's just kind of narrow corridors. And you kind of follow these kind of corridors through the maps. You go into a room, you jump a little bit, go to a next corridor, and so the areas are quite, linear and straightforward, and so you can easily find all the side areas in a small area. Whereas, you walk into a big room like this, and you don't, I don't know, I guess psychologically you spend, maybe you spend 10 seconds looking at a room, but if the room is small, then you see everything, whereas if the room is big, then you don't see everything sometimes. So I just kind of walked around here, and the path also, you go into the buildings, jump around a bit, go across the trees, and then get a disc. And the path, the actual path you have to take, never really brings you up to the corners to look in here. So unless you really, really look, you won't find it. I kept my eyes open, but I completely missed it. So I was talking to Progsys, and I was thinking maybe a gold block here where it's visible would be a good idea, just because, I know they're supposed to be secret areas, but as I've been saying, you actually kind of want players to find your secrets, because they're, it's content. It's gameplay. And it's like, well, you put these interesting things in the game, and then the players don't find it. Like, why, that's not a good thing. People want to find secrets, yeah, but there's no benefit to hiding content from players. You know what I mean? It doesn't make people enjoy the game more. How does this work? Can I climb up these things? I can't, can I? I want to... Do they slow your fall? They do. They slow your fall slightly, so I guess that allows you to make that jump. I think, maybe? I don't know how that... Does it help, or does it actually hinder the jump? I'm not really sure I'm in the mood for more jumping, to be honest. Especially not high difficulty stuff, like... This is what, the 12th video? And they're about an hour each. There's like 12 hours of gameplay in this map. That's insane. That's an insane amount of content. Wait. Did I just fall off this thing? I'm holding shift and walking forward. Oh, wait a minute. You can hold shift and glide along the vines? Well, that's a new mechanic. Well, you can kind of glide along them, but it's kind of weird. Is this supposed to happen? I'm just holding shift and holding forward. It's really slow, but you can just kind of glide across the vines like that if you hold shift. That's a bit strange. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. Anyway, here's the jump, without the vines this time. I don't know if I can... made it. Did you guys know about that? You just kind of hold shift and guide along hanging vines like that? Just kind of float across them. I guess, what you're supposed to be doing is climbing the vines. But you just kind of glide in the air, it seems like. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2... No, there's 3 block. 3 block gaps from fence to fence. Not really sure about these. Alright, so we got to here. And then we can just float. Hold shift and float in the air. Supposedly if we're swinging on the vines, we can't go up. We can go across. And then I just fell off! How did I fall off there? That's a strange mechanic. Maybe it's not even intended. Oh, whoops. Wow, really? I just fell off? Okay, I see. There's a thing here. I see. There's a thing there. Oh, that was kind of sad. I just fell off the platform just now. I mean, creative though, so I don't really care that much. Alright, so what happened there? I just kind of fell off the vines. Which side? The vines are on this side. I think what it means is I have to stay on this side of the block. Yeah, because the vines are on this side and not the other side. So if I go to the other side, I'll fall off the vines. If I stay like on this block, then I'm fine. And then that happens. Actually, I can just wait a minute. Hey, did you know this? Did you guys know this? You can just jump and then hold shift, and there you are. You are in mid-air. You just kind of jump and hold shift. Except this is behind there, so you can't actually get onto the fence from the vines, I don't think, because you have to go behind it. Yeah, no, you can't actually do that. This is so confusing. New mechanic. I don't know if this is intended. Actually, this is 3 blocks in there, so I don't even have to mess with the vines here, actually. I don't know if this is an intended mechanic in this part of the jumping. But, that happens. Fail. Never mind. Just gonna do that. So that for a block of gold and 2 nuggets is sound full on stuff. Let me just eat this carrot. Oh wait, I'm creative. Why do I have so much stuff? Why is it... Just put the stew away and the raw salmon away. I mean, that's okay. It's okay. It's a lot of tricky jumps, and the vines really mess things up. The vines are really odd. I don't know if you wanna... I don't know if this is intended, the vines. But it's a really odd mechanic. It's another new thing you have to learn if you want to get through that. I'm standing on these things. Wait a minute. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. We came out of here. I see. Alright. Back up. So that's that. It's just a little room. Nothing that special. But, vines. Might be a new thing you can make a challenge out of. Like, you know, a more extensive thing going around vines. Like, if you hold shift, you can kind of just climb from one to the other without falling down. It's a bit strange, the mechanic. And apparently there's a secret back here. You can kind of see a gold block if you're like right up against it. But I never saw this neither. So you can just kind of jump around the corner there, get behind these buildings, and then inside here is the quiz challenge. Very easy, hard, Google Master. Google Master. What? What on earth is... Impossible! Find the intersection point. Oh, crap. Really? Math puzzles? Line to the plane? Jeez. Find the intersection point? I'm not even sure. There's no indication they're parallel. As in, what on earth is this about? Look, okay. So, Progsys says that this might be a bit problematic. Let me just find the intersection point. 2 to -1. Hold on. 2 to 1. 1 minus. I can't look. I can't just do this in my brain. I'm not Stephen Hawking. I'm not some sort of abstract thinker, and I can't just do this in my head. I can't figure it out. None. Wrong. Lose your gold. All right. So math problems. I don't think that's a good idea. All right, hard. Hard question 1. Which web browser is made in Norway? I don't know. Skyfire, Chrome, not Chrome. Skyfire? No. Norway. You're Opera, right? Yeah, Opera. Hard question 2. What is the name of the indigenous peoples of Australia? The Rockaway Sioux. Wait a minute. Isn't it an O? Or is it the wrong thing? Anyway, it's Aborigines. Question 3. In which month were you born if you have the zodiac sign Gemini? I thought that crosses over. February and March? No, it's not February and March. March, April, May? May, June? Wait a minute. What do you mean it's not May, June? Gemini. Oh, Gemini, my bad. No, this is not right. February and March. Oh, wait, it is right. Okay, this is wrong. This is just wrong, bro. Gemini is not December. Are you kidding me? Oh, wait, it is. My bad. Yeah, it is. My bad. Wow, I'm so bad. Which avian pursues supersonic speed? Yes, it was Jaeger. It's okay. Quiz system. The system works. I don't agree with asking. See, what I think about the game is, I think everything that you ask should be within the game. And this ties into the next thing that Progsys asks about, is like the story and the plot and the final combat. I think like you should make a coherent story for the game, and the questions you ask in the quiz is part of the game. Like they're asking about in-game things and story things. I'll talk more about this later on. Let me just try some of these easier ones. Wait. How many centimeters is a kilometer? Centimeters is gonna be 100 centimeters in a meter, 1,000, 100,000. 33.8. 100,000. How much wood does a normal Minecraft chest requires to craft it? You can't even try it out, funny. 1, 2, 3. 8. 8? Where's the 8? 6, 8, 9, 12. 12? 12? You can't even fit 12 into the crafting grid. Capital of England? It might be London. What is the name of Egyptian sun god? It would be Ra. Ra, Sa, Ta, Ba. Ra. Just take that. And then, very easy. If that was easy, then what very easy is? 2 plus 5. 6. 8. What shape do most basic structural elements have? Wait, what do you mean? What does that mean? box, sphere, triangle, hexagon. I don't understand what most basic structure elements have. I don't understand what that means. But we're in Minecraft, so they're all squares. Wait, what? Box? No, that makes no sense. Why are there boxes and everything? Is that a joke about Minecraft? Anyway, what is the chemical formula for water? It's a water? H2O. No idea. Fe3O4? What the? How often is the letter E used in this sentence? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, how is this very easy? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Oh, did I count that wrong? Seriously? 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Oh, it's 9. Wow. I feel like very easy is slightly more difficult than easy. Anyway, so it's kind of fun. The mechanic's kind of fun, but don't really agree with the questions. Yeah, so I think... Okay, well that's the quiz. It works, but like mechanically it works. I just don't agree with the questions, really. And the other jumping is kind of interesting. Like there is scope for expanding the vine thing. Game mode C. Alright, so back to the pyramid. And we'll read what Progsys says about what's coming up next. Let's just fly up here and get a nice view. Alright, let me just move this around a little bit. Okay, so he says the quiz secret area. Well, let me just move this a little bit. He says, one thing I always wanted to do is a quiz, so I made one. My English is sadly not the best, which is probably reflecting in the formulation of the questions. Question, is my first quiz that I made... Oh, it's the first quiz that I made, and I know you probably are not an expert in it, but how does a good question look like? Right now, I feel like you just need to Google to answer them. In fact, it's probably the only way most people would do it. Except the hardest difficulty, it's called Google Master for a reason. Huh. Is the formulation and grammar of the questions acceptable? Maybe you can improve it a bit with your better English. I don't think your grammar is the problem. I think it's which questions you want to ask. And I really do think, from a game design perspective, you should keep it within the scope of the game. So if you're going to have a story for the game, then you can ask questions about the story. And you might even put it... I mean, I was thinking you might want to put it here at the pyramid, like as an initial challenge. Like to get to the final boss, you might have like these challenges. And if you answer the questions right, then you kind of get straight to the boss. Whereas if you get them wrong, maybe you have to do more jumping before you get to the boss. And as for the story, what I think would be... Actually, what comes next? Let's read what he says. So he says, the layout of the main path is mostly done now. The only thing missing is a good story. I don't really plan to tell a complex story. It is more to give some reason for what you are doing. One of the most important things in a game was always the ending. For me, a not well done ending can make the game significantly worse, or even let people regret their investment. Let me regret the investment I made into the game. This was especially true in Mass Effect 3. Yo, burn! Shots fired. Yeah, Mass Effect 3 ending was terrible. Where the ending just did not fit into the game at all, and your choices did not matter in the end at all. So I'm kind of searching for a good ending right now for my map. I kind of want to make some kind of... But I want it to be more parkour focused instead of fighting a monster. One idea is to put the player under time pressure. Bad idea. I would not do that. Where the player needs to perform the parkour fast, otherwise he dies. No! That's terrible. Did you play Trine? Trine and Trine 2. They were pretty Trine mostly. It was pretty entertaining until the final boss, when they put you under time pressure, and you died if you weren't fast enough, and there were no checkpoints, and it turned from a fun game into a frustrating game, and I just want to punch my computer. So that's probably not a good idea. Remember that, let's finish reading it first. Under the idea is that the player needs to dodge projectiles and maybe jump and ride on them, if I get it working with redstone. When playing the map, do you have any expectations on how the end should look like? Or maybe you have an idea for an ending? I do, actually. But first of all, back to the concept of Final Boss. People play games to have fun. People play games to have fun. And so that is really the primary objective of any part of the game. And the climax of the game, what it needs to be is it needs to be the most fun part of the game. Not the most difficult, the most fun. Now, difficulty is just a separate thing altogether. I mean, if a game will be more fun if you make it easier, then make it easier. If the game will be more fun if it's more difficult, then make it more difficult. So difficulty is just this other thing that doesn't really, that's not the critical issue. The critical issue is the fun. And the boss fight needs to be the most fun part of the game. Not the most difficult part of the game, the most fun part of the game. The most memorable. Like if you ask people, hey, what's the most memorable game you played and what's memorable about it? It's not the difficulty. Or maybe for some people it is. But only if the difficulty is also fun. Or maybe it's just a bad game and you remember the bad parts. That's not really good anyway. So, I mean, that's the philosophy that I have about any sort of game design is, the climax of the game. It doesn't matter how difficult it is. It just needs to be the most fun, the most memorable, and something that people want to come back and do again if you make a second game, because that's what you want. So difficulty, just don't worry about it. Just focus on the fun, and whatever difficulty it needs to be fun, make it that difficulty. You know what I mean? As for the story, look, you started the game with the High Priest stealing all your stuff. And we didn't have much of the High Priest throughout the parkour. We have a little bit. We have, it's like this park is closed off by order of the High Priest and things like that. So he's a douchebag, we know that. But there's not much of him. And what I'm thinking is, at the end, you need to fight him. Because that's the story. The story is the High Priest is stealing your stuff. And you're going after him. And at the end, you need to get your stuff back from the High Priest. So in this pyramid, I think, should be the High Priest and your stuff. And you need to defeat the High Priest to get the stuff back. And that's the story. And what I'm thinking is, maybe throughout the parkour, maybe in all the secret areas, you can have books. Maybe they're journals written by the High Priest. And so you might have books that kind of explain to the player what kind of person the High Priest is, and he's a douchebag. So I'm imagining his character is he's greedy, he's selfish, and he's a bit of a coward. So he has other people do his dirty work for him. And he's hiding behind the parkour. He's turned the whole city into a parkour challenge as a way to stop people from getting to him. And you are jumping through all of his challenges to get to him, right? To get your stuff back. So I mean that's who I imagine the High Priest is. And so maybe as you go through, maybe in all the secret areas, you find a book and it's written by a High Priest. Maybe one of them is today I shut down the pizza place and I took all the cookies. I mean the cookie bakery. I killed the guy and I stole all his cookies because I love cookies. And then my advisor told me that I should have kept him alive because then he can bake more cookies for me. But he's an idiot, so I killed him too. Now I have all my cookies for myself. So maybe the story is he's kind of stupid, but he's really greedy, and then he just kind of hurts people to get what he wants. But then he's kind of an idiot. And then you just you tell the story, and this is to kind of give the player a reason to dislike the guy. And a lot of games have this, especially Borderlands 2. I don't know if you've played that game, but in Borderlands 2, they really try very, very hard to make you hate the bad guy. Like, the bad guy is just an absolute douchebag. Like, he's just the worst person you can imagine. And so, and throughout the game, like, you get these little bits, like you get kind of these recordings and story things, and he talks to you, he's always kind of just this asshole. And so then by the time you get to him, you're supposed to hate him. And so, I mean, that's the point of, you know, the story, right? Is to build up the reason for you to be fighting this guy. And then maybe what I'm thinking is put the quiz at the beginning of the pyramid. And that's like the secret. Is if you get all the secrets, then you know who the high priest is, and then the high priest is basically asking these questions. And it probably is from his perspective, and so it's to weed out, to stop people who hate him from getting into his pyramid. But if you know him, or if you know his secrets, and then you can kind of get straight to him. And then the boss fight would be you probably parkouring through a few things to get to him. Maybe he's running away somehow. Maybe he's kind of running, like you find him, you see him, and you see all your stuff there. Like he has all your stuff, and you say, well, hey, that's my stuff. I'm getting you. I'm gonna come get you. And then he runs away, or he tries to run away, or he's again, like he's hiding behind the parkour challenge that he sets for you, and then you have to kind of jump through the challenge to get to him, and he runs away. Maybe you get close to him and he runs away again. And then eventually you corner him and you trap him. Maybe you kill him, maybe you just kind of trap him. And then you win and you get your stuff back. And then he can talk to you the whole time and then kind of be an asshole about it. So that's what I would imagine the boss fight would be. Is you, like, you know, going back to the beginning of the game when he talked about your stuff. The end of the game, I imagine, should be you getting your stuff back. And you finally bringing justice to this high priest that's an asshole. So that's what I'm thinking. And then throughout the game, there should be more of that. Like, you know, I mean, I'm imagining what's going on is the high priest is somehow taken over this whole city, and he's kind of ruling this city in a really bad way. You know, maybe he's confiscating everybody's stuff, and maybe he's kind of killing people for no reason, and, you know, stealing things and taking things and bullying people. So maybe the story should be that. And maybe like everybody, like maybe everywhere you go, like every chest you find, well, not every chest, but maybe in a lot of the chests and a lot of buildings you find like these stories of how the high priest is just kind of abusing his power. And so, you know, as you go through and you read all this stuff, one, you learn about him, and two, you get reasons to fight him. And three, you learn his secrets, which help you in the final battle. So that's what I'm thinking. It's a little bit complicated, but it sounds good to me. And so that's my ideas. So you guys, anyone who's not Progsys and kind of watching through these videos, maybe if you have any ideas, you can kind of throw it out and maybe help out Progsys make a good map. But aside from that, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this. But man, this is like 12 hours of gameplay you've put into here. That's better than some games you pay for. And, you know, and if you get the difficulty right, and if you get the checkpoints right, and you get the sequencing of the parkour right, so that you get opportunities to learn the parkour before you're asked to do the difficult jumps, then the gameplay can be really good as well. The gameplay can be really good as well. So this is turning out to be something pretty amazing, in my opinion. I think it's going to be really good. Alright, so that's it for this version of the map. That's a lot of videos and a lot of content. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out, because it's already good. It's already really good. Alright, see you guys in the next video.